Samurais all needed to hide that they were left-handed. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. In this channel, I, Shogo, will introduce various topics about Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, this is your one step deeper. And today, let's talk about this topic. Samurais always had their katanas on their left waist, like this. This makes it impossible for you to draw your sword with your left hand. But what if you were left-handed? Weren't there any left-handed samurais? I'll answer these questions for you today. Let me first explain why the samurais always had their katanas on their left waist. In the past, the samurais would walk and ride horses on the left side of the road. This means that if samurais had their swords on their right waist, the end of their katanas would hit each other when they passed by one another. Katanas were something very important to the samurais, so this may cause trouble. So it was a rule in the samurai world that everyone must keep their katanas on their left waist and walk on the left side of the road. By the way, this tradition is why we still drive cars on the left side in Japan today. Also, in the Edo period, when samurais sat facing towards each other, taking your sword off your belt and keeping it on your right side was a sign of no hostility. This is because it's more difficult for you to suddenly draw your sword. It was a kind of etiquette between the samurais. If you sat down with your katana on your left side like this, you'll be able to suddenly draw your sword. But if your katana was on your right side, it will take much longer for you to suddenly draw your sword. However, this rule will only apply if every samurai drew their katanas with their right hands. If each samurai used different manners according to his dominant hand, the rule will collapse. Due to these reasons, the boys of the samurai families were forced to use and train with their right hand, regardless of their dominant hand. And just until a few years ago, many children were taught, especially in kindergarten and elementary school, to use their right hand. However, this old tradition has started to gradually fade away in order to respect the individuality of children. Then, there weren't any left-handed samurais? It's hard to say, because samurais usually hid they were left-handed, because it was thought as a disorder at that time. But from portraits drawn of them, or from the books they've wrote, there are some samurais that are said to have been left-handed. I'd like to introduce 3 of them. 1. Minamoto Tamemoto, the uncle of Japan's first shogun, Minamoto Yoritomo. Legends say he was a monstrous samurai that was taller than 2 meters. 2. Miyamoto Musashi, one of the strongest samurais ever in history, that started the style of using 2 swords at once. He was also the man who wrote the Book of 5 Rings. 3. Saito Hajime, the 3rd division leader of the police organization called Shinsengumi. He is one of the main characters of Rurouni Kenshin Samurai X2. Lastly, today's conclusion. In the past, the samurais walked and rode horses on the left side. To avoid hitting each other's katanas when they passed by each other, it was a rule to always have katanas on the left waist. So every samurai was raised to be right-handed. This tradition was brought down until recent times. There are historical records that left-handed samurais existed, though the evidence may not be completely accurate. The names of known left-handed samurais are Minamoto Tanemoto, Miyamoto Musashi, and Saito Hajime. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Before I end this video, I have some good news for my left-handed viewers. When you swing a katana, you must basically use your left arm for better balance, and keep your right hand loose and relaxed. So if you're planning to swing a katana, it might feel a little bit awkward in the beginning, but eventually, being left-handed will become a great advantage. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And my goal is to achieve 10,000 subscribers by July 2021, so your help would mean a lot. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. どうもありがとうございました。